Everybody, it's Friday night here at Calvary Church. I've been trying to set up a few things and also test a few things that went wrong last week to see if they got them fixed, and also to check out a few proactive things that we can do for next week. Right now, what I'm working on is trying to figure out how to stream to YouTube and Facebook on the first try. So I'm just working with some software here. Came across this software because just want to give a shout out to Rick South at Abundant Life down the road. He's been using this, and it's been working quite well for them. So that's what we're doing. It's called Caster, and you can kind of see the interface right here. One of the things I'm going to test is the microphone. I'm using this little thing here and cordless microphone here. And last week we were getting a fuzz. I'm pretty sure it's because we replaced the cord on it, and that was just giving a bit of fuzz. But as you may remember, last week we also had a phase of electricity to go out. There's 3 phases of electricity here at church, and one of them went out. Later we found a squirrel dead in our backyard. I'm pretty sure that has something to do with it, especially since the tail of the squirrel was kind of melted. The hair was melted in a couple spots. So I'll talk a little bit about the tech that's going on here. We have some tech. So basically here, if I can get off this streaming site, we're still using, actually we're back to using the computer back here. This is Proclaim software. For those you don't know, you can look it up if you want. But it's basically worship software to show videos and whatnot. Here's one we're doing for tomorrow. Praising my Savior. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Here's a little video from...
Hi, Calvary. I'm Morgan Bykirk. Our ministry of the month is...
You'll find out what that's about tomorrow. And there's some other things in here, too. So that's how that works. And that video runs through... It goes to the broadcaster over here, which is way back here, this white thing right here. And then that goes out to a streaming, a streaming line, and it goes to Facebook and YouTube live. We were doing a lot of videos right through the streamer, but it doesn't handle all the videos, so we switched to doing it through the computer. As you might have guessed, perhaps, audio goes to the soundboard, and then we mix it that way, and the audio from my mic and anybody else's mic that may speak also goes through the soundboard, which has caused its own issues, but also had its own benefit. I want to show you this a little bit. This is the software, this is the interface to run the Sling Studio streaming piece of equipment, I'll just say. It's kind of cool. It's pretty handy. This is different cameras. This is a camera that's up at front, and if we put it down there, then all of a sudden you see me from way up front of church, and if I slide it back down again, then you see me here again. There's also a possibility of sliding videos up. All right, so anyway, now we're back on me. It does get to be kind of tedious to do all that during the service, and that's why we're running more of the videos through the computer and not through the thing, because otherwise you're switching, you're running audio. This sort of allows us to have division of labor. I do want to give a shout out right now. Thanks so much to John Quist for coming in and helping, and also my wife, my kids, anybody that can conscript. I think that's all on the tech side. I can show you this again maybe. It's a little different preaching to that. It's a little bit different preaching in empty pews. Sometimes people ask how that works. I don't know if somehow it works. It doesn't work for everybody, but for some reason it kind of works. Few people are here. And it is nice to have a few people here like my family, but it works for now. Obviously, I'd rather have people here. So why are we doing this? You might ask, why are we trying to stream, have some sense of doing this on Sunday morning all together? And that really is the reason, is because even though we can't worship together because we are apart, I think there's value in at least worshiping as together as we possibly can through this medium. The other reason is that we are realizing as the weeks go on that there is probably, I guess first of all, we're going to be at this for some time more than likely. There's no vaccination in sight. We'd all like this to be done super fast, but honestly, it seems like the way things are pointing, it's probably not a very good idea for all of us to just come back anytime soon. and all hang out like I did before with refreshments and fellowship time and all that. That's probably a great recipe for many of us getting sick at some point in the future. And general practice, probably not a good idea. We're realizing there's also probably not going to be a big, hey, everybody can come back and it's going to be all like it was in the near future. We are likely going to have to worship with some of us here at first, maybe a small number, don't know what that looks like exactly. And then some of us won't be able to be here, partly because you just can't have more than a certain number of people, and partly because some of us have health issues that are really going to keep us from being around large groups of other people for quite some time until there's a solution, a vaccine or something. We are likely going to have an experience that's both a really great worship experience here in church, but also an experience where people can experience worship at home. So we want it to be a simultaneous thing where we can worship here in this building. I shouldn't say in church because we are the church wherever we're at, no matter where, especially right now. But we want to have a worship experience for the church, whether we're at home or whether we're here in the building. And to do that, we probably need a hybrid system is what we're realizing. For a while, for a number of weeks, whenever we showed a video, it was totally quiet in church. We're just getting away from that. And then also, we just wanted to do both. And so that's kind of why we're doing this system the way we're doing it. As I've thought often, when you get in a new situation, you never know exactly what the right thing to do is. You experiment your way forward, and you find out kind of later what worked and what didn't. That's what we're doing. I really want to thank you for your patience during this whole thing. It's been a learning process, and I think it was last week, Saturday, I was watching some streaming service of some church down in Indiana, and it was just really, like the audio especially was just horrible, and it would go up and down, up and down, up and down. It kind of reminded me of a couple weeks we had where it was really not great. Who knows, we might have those weeks again. And I just know that's so frustrating, and I want to thank you for your patience in that, just having patience as we go through this, and your graciousness and the comments, and even I would say the care with which people have said, hey, this isn't great, when it hasn't been great. So I want to thank you especially for that. So blessings to you tonight. Have a great night, and we'll see you on Sunday morning.